risk management. It's great to have you with us for this midday lunch and learn. Before we begin, we do want to note a feature on today's Zoom platform, encouraging you to use the Q&A button for your presenter questions. John, let's show them where that is. Thank you. So on the lower right area of your Zoom menu, you see the Q&A. So we'd like to focus the Q&A section here to be questions for our speaker as we go through there, just to sort them away from the chat. You can continue to use the chat for chatting, but use the Q&A button for the presenter there. All righty, here we are next with our agenda for this morning's midday session. Not a lot of surprises in here. As usual, though, we'd like to cover off some chapter business and PMI updates. For that will be brought to you by our VP of Finance and Treasurer, Roseanne Bateman. Roseanne, what's coming up here with the chapter? What's going on?
Welcome, everyone. Let's see, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so we have some discounts if anybody is interested in like a boot camp sort of a thing for our certification prep classes. PM Training is our authorized training partner, so you can check out details there. We have a volunteer and a member appreciation event on October 7th at Kismetic Brewery. We already have quite a few who have registered, but if you have not and are interested, please do so. That is also on our website. We are having a career fair on October 22nd. It's going to be held at Refinery 46, which is at 46th and Keystone in Indy. And it's going to be 2 to 6, but my suggestion is to come as early as possible because as things wind down, it may end just a little before 6. But bring your resumes. We're going to have a resume person who can review your resume. We're also going to have vendors who are looking for project managers. So come prepared. Next. Then we also started an in-person study group. They started last week and will go through October 15th. There are quite a few registered for that event as well. This is generally for people who are ready to take the exam, but they just want to go over some prep questions, that kind of thing, do's and don'ts, good ideas, that sort of thing. So it's also at Refinery 46. I think it's every Wednesday from 6 to 7:30. And then board elections are open. The elections close this Friday, though. So if you want to make your voice heard, please go out and vote. You should have received something from PMI, an email, and the voting's open until Friday. Okay. Some updates from PMI Global. We have new sustainability resources coming. PMI and Green Project Management have launched a joint venture. Last month's Lunch and Learn was on Green Project Management. There is a new certification that's out there. So if you're interested in that at all, please go out to PMI and register to take the certification for the Green Project Management. And oh, this is a big one. So update your information on PMI Global. As we start transitioning to a new membership model with PMI, it's really important that your address and employer information is out there and is correct. So if you haven't checked your PMI Global profile in a while, please do so, because in about 16 months, we're going to be moving to this new membership model, and it's going to be really important that your zip code is correct. And then we have a global summit in Phoenix, Arizona. It is going to be November 12th through the 15th. And there's about a community of 4,500 plus project professionals that attend this. and there's a lot of keynote speakers, an opportunity to earn PDUs. So that's a good conference to attend. Okay, next. And then finally, the fun stuff. This is zoo discounts. So we get 35% off of admission. So now is a good time if you're interested. I know that the zoo does things even at Halloween and probably Christmas too. I don't know that, but anyway, if you're interested in this, this is also out on our website. So it's a fun thing to do with families. Okay. All right, now it's back to Rich.
Thanks, Roseanne. Appreciate that. Hi, new members. Welcome. It's great to have you here. If you happen to be in the audience, please say hi to everybody in chat so that we may at least virtually welcome you. New members, note that discount to the zoo. There are a number of discounts available to PMI members for being a member. So be sure to check out the benefits of being a member, even if they're not professionally based. There are some things that are locally based to help welcome you to this particular chapter. We also want to recognize and congratulate on the upcoming slide here, those that are newly certified. We have a number of those, I think at least a dozen or so, 15 or so. Congratulations to those newly certified. Similarly to the new members, if you happen to be with us today, please go ahead and drop a hello to everybody so we can join in congratulating you personally and virtually as well in the chat. So thanks to those newly certified. And now I'll tell you, the event team has really cooked up a really good one for you here today. And thank you to all the other volunteers who helped pull this event together in the various pieces and parts and promotion and whatnot. But today we have a very special guest speaker. You know, as project managers, we all know that moment. You think you've accounted for every risk, every stakeholder, every possible snag, yet something unexpected still pops up and shifts everything. Well, what if you could see that risk on the horizon before it turned into a crisis? What if you could harness more than intuition? What if you had tools that blend the rigor of standards like PMBOK and PRINCE2 with cutting edge AI to help you anticipate what you don't see? Well, our speaker today isn't just imagining that future, he's helping lead us into it. Meet Raphael Vitarelli, with over 15 years in project management experience across sectors like healthcare, financial services, government, insurance, agriculture. Raphael brings both depth and breadth to his work. He currently serves as Assistant Deputy Minister of Innovation and New Technology for the Government of Manitoba, Canada. In parallel, Raphael is deeply committed to the project management community. He's president of PMI Manitoba, holds certifications such as PMP, PMI ACP, PRINCE2 practitioner, as an MBA, along with advanced studies in areas such as blockchain and digital technologies. Outside of work, he lectures in health informatics and shares his insight on generative AI, risk management, and innovation. And today, indeed, Raphael is going to take us on a journey into applying AI in project management, especially project risk management, showing us not only what's already possible, but how to bring these ideas into our own projects. He'll share how predictive analytics, natural language processing, and other AI tools can help us identify risk patterns, act proactively, reduce surprises. Please join me and ChatGPT, which helped me compose this introduction, in giving a warm PMI welcome to Raphael Vitarelli. Raphael, welcome. I turn the main stage over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for having me today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your time. And I truly believe that the power of our community is when we teach each other, when we learn from each other, when we collaborate. So thank you for letting me do this. Thank you for letting me be here with you today. All right. Let me share my screen here, and I'm coming to you live from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I am north of North Dakota. Now, let's dive into this. I believe you guys can see my screen. So here we go. We talked a little bit about myself, president of PMI Manitoba. To me, PMI was what helped me a lot, helped me get my citizenship here in Canada. I was born in Brazil. PMI helped me make the connections, learn a lot, PMI certifications, but also technology. So to me, if we combine technology with project management and human creativity, there's nothing we cannot do. As mentioned, I am the Assistant Deputy Minister of Innovation and New Technology right here at Manitoba, which is a province in Canada. But today I'm not representing the government, so a little disclaimer, anything I say is not related to the government or is supposed to represent the government in any type, shape, or form. I'm also pursuing a PhD in AI, so that's through the University of North Dakota. I'm looking forward to diving a little bit into a PhD of AI, but combine that with PMO. But today we're talking risks. So as we dive into this, we're going to have some fun. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Take notes because at the end, we're going to play a game. And if you are the winner of the game, you're going to get access to some of the tools that we're going to look at here today. But if you're not a winner of the game, there's another way you can get access to those tools as well. And again, as a PMI president, I believe that we're supposed to share everything we have with each other so we can make better projects together. So nothing that we're going to talk about here has a cost or will ever have a cost. Collaboration is key. Does that sound okay? All right.
Sounds great. I'll fill in.
So
We did have somebody early on here, Raphael. We knew we'd get this. Somebody came in and said, "Will you share the slides with us?" And I think you were just speaking to, well, for a quid pro quo, I believe. Do we have that right?
that's absolutely correct. Is that Rich, right?
Yeah.
Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's absolutely correct. So at the end of the presentation, if you're the winner of the game, you're going to get access to the tools we're going to see, the slide deck, our risk management strategy, the risk agent. If you're not the winner of the game, then you just have to connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me, hey, Raf, here are the things I believe you did well. Here are the things I believe you could improve in that presentation, and you're going to get access to everything. Now, here's the the catch 22, Rich. If you do that and no one else does, you can simply get access to it and then share with everyone later on.
All righty. We got you covered, gang. Thank you.
Okay, now a question for all of you. What are the possibilities that AI brings to project risk management? Without us talking about anything, if you close your eyes right now, what do you think you can do with AI to manage risks in your projects? And only one at a time so I don't get too many questions. And I think people are not allowed
This
to
one's good
unmute,
for
are
the
they?
chat. Yeah, this one we're going to the chat because
Okay,
the microphones are limited to
perfect.
just
Okay,
those of us
so
on stage.
maybe one or two, Rich, and then we can move on.
Deep
One,
analysis on audience and stakeholders.
oh, audience and stakeholders deep analysis. Okay, can you elaborate a little bit on that? And I know you cannot speak, you have to type, so I'm gonna try and assume that deep analysis is like how well do I know Roseanne? How well do I know Rich? What is important to them? What projects they worked on? Do they have a financial background? Do they have an IT background? Do they have an engineering background? Is
We
that is
have a
that what you mean?
number of answers that speak to predicting risks, identifying vulnerabilities.
Identifying vulnerabilities. Okay, so vulnerabilities for that project and a definition of a project by the PMBOK version 7, and the version 8 might change a little bit, is anything that generates a product, a service, and a result and was never done before, right? And has stakeholders. So, okay, I like that. That's awesome. Okay, 2 is good enough. Let's move on. Okay, so imagine human creativity with AI. The first thing I did back in the day when ChatGPT came up with the option for you to create agents, and if you don't know how to do that, a quick Google search or a ChatGPT question, you'll see how to create little agents. Not hard, not hard. Anything that we're going to talk about here is not hard. But the first thing I did when ChatGPT came out with ways for you to create an agent, I was like, you know what? I love Star Wars. Why don't I go and I love risk management? Why don't I go and I create an agent that is a Star Wars themed risk agent? It's like, Raf, this is insane. Yeah, human creativity creates a lot of awesome things. So I believe you guys can still see my screen and you see my ChatGPT instance right now, right? Is that what you see?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the risk analyzer of love, and I can give it access for you as well. You can play with it. But of love, just because I'm from Brazil and everything for me, there's love. There's love in risks management. There's love in project management. There's just a name. There's nothing about love in here. But what is this? This is a risk analyzer that includes a Star Wars themed approach. What do I mean by that? Is hey, GPT, my friend, right? I am here running a virtual PMI event. Can you help me tackle some risks, right? So if I ask this question, and it's like, oh, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, a brave project manager prepared to battle the force of risk at a virtual PMI event. Absolutely, my stellar friend. This is GPT answering me. I'm ready to help you spot a neutralize project risks faster than the Millennium Falcon, which is one of the ship in Star Wars, if you have watched Star Wars. Anyway, so this is just showing you what creativity can do, right? Simple thing, I created this maybe in 5 or 10 minutes, and you can create anything you want by using different agent setup. You can do ChatGPT, you can do Gemini. If your company has a co-pilot and you have the right license, it's not that expensive. If you don't have the right license, maybe you should get your company to invest in it. Okay, so now, did you see this, right? We're building top of our human creativity. We created this. I created this 5 minutes, just very fun. We manage risks and we put some Star Wars theme things. And Rich, Roseanne, if you guys ever want, or Cassie, want you to unmute yourself and laugh at my jokes or say something, I would appreciate that. So I feel I'm engaged, but you don't have to do it every time. Now, let me give you a little bit more here, more things for you to think about how you can apply technology in your projects and your risks. So this, I just bought a house here. It's on the countryside in Manitoba, and my friend gave me this plant. I was like, wow, I never took care of a plant before. I don't know what to do. So I went to my little agent over here, the ChatGPT guy on my phone, and that's what I'm doing. If you're looking at the camera, I'm opening it up, and I talked to it. I said, "Hey GPT, how's it going today, my friend?"
Good day, Raphael. I'm doing quite well, thank you. I hope you're also having a pleasant day. Let me know how I may assist you. And just to
Okay. Thank you, thank you. You know what? My friend just gave me a tree here, and I don't know what to do. Can you please help me out? I'm gonna show it to you. Okay?
Of course, Raphael, I'd be happy to help. Please go ahead and show me the tree, and I'll do my best to give you some guidance on what to do with it.
Okay. So this is it. I wonder what is this, and how do I take care of that?
All right, Raphael. From what I can see, that looks like a yucca plant. It's a type of indoor tree that's actually pretty hardy and low maintenance. Formally speaking, you'll want to place it somewhere it can get bright and direct light and water sparingly, just when the topsoil is dry.
Oh, I see. Okay. Another thing, I want to see if my friends they love me enough. Can you tell me how much this plant costs? Because nowadays we measure love by the price of their gifts, right?
Well, Raphael, I'll certainly give you a formal and friendly answer. Generally speaking, a yucca plant of that size might typically cost anywhere from about $50 to $150, depending on the stewer and the region. Of course, that's just a neutral estimate as an opinion.
All right, you see, it says formal and friendly. It's because I configured it. And when I say I configured it, people are like, oh, so you use coding and you configure your agent. No, I just went to the little chat, the box within ChatGPT, and I can send you the step by step later if you connect with me. And I said, hey, every answer, every question I ask you, I want you to be formal, friendly, straight to the point, and give me bullet points. So even when I'm talking to it, it still follows my instruction that is quote unquote programmed within the chat GPT. Now, look at this, right? Creativity, using your phone to look at your meeting, using an agent to look at your meeting, look at your specific item and tell you what is it that you can do. I remember vividly going to a Google presentation and they were talking about the Gemini, and they invited Gemini to a meeting with a Google representative, and the Google representative had a blueprint of a house open, and then said, "Okay, Gemini, can you tell me um, how would I go about putting a separate entrance into this blueprint, into this house that we want to build?" Now, again, you don't know what knowledge that specific agent is using, if it's grounded on engineering documents, but it was able to answer the question. And I was like, wow, there's so many things we can do here, right? We can check our trees and we see what we do. And it's actually not a tree, it's a plant, and see how much our friends love us as long as we're using creativity. Now, if I ask the question again, can you now reimagine more possibilities AI bring to risk management? And I'll let only one person go. Maybe it's one of the people here with me on the stage. Maybe Rich. What else comes to your mind now?
I do wonder about being able to have help for this type of project, for these characteristics. What types of risks um, what type of risks are most apparent? What's going to, you
Mm.
know, if something's going to ruin my schedule and ruin my budget, what's it going to be?
Very nice. And then to answer that question, your AI could be grounded on past projects that your company ran that was similar. Could be grounded on some risk registries that your project managers, your program managers, or portfolio managers have run before, right? And then we
Yeah.
even can go back, Rich, to the first question at the beginning of this presentation, which was, what about the stakeholders? How do we assess them? What were the risks that they face? How much stress they got, right? How did they change the way they were typing on Teams or typing on your Slack, whatever tool of communication you have? So there's so much we can do if we use creativity and put all of that data into our AI agent. Again, I know you might be thinking, oh, Raf, but what about security? Where's my data going? My company doesn't have the policies yet, and we are not allowed to use any AI tool. Probably in the future you will, because I truly believe, I could be wrong, that the companies that don't adopt it, they are going to be not the champions in this world. So I think everyone should be looking into doing it. Government institutions should be looking into how do they make sure they are using the right tools, how they make sure that that data is protected, right? At the end of the day, if you look at Microsoft, most of us might be in a Microsoft environment where your your specific data is on your email, your SharePoint, everything is out there in your Microsoft environment. So when you have a Copilot, for example, the data is also running within your Microsoft environment, right? When I say Copilot, is your ChatGPT, your AI agent within Microsoft platform. Now, let me tell you this, a little bit of a story here. So my mom and my stepdad, they live in Brazil. And my stepdad does not want a dog because back in the day he had a dog and he was not good. Like he had a dog for 20 years. He loved the dog so much and the dog passed away and he suffered a lot. But my mom really wanted a dog. So she called me a couple months ago and said, Raf, I want to get a dog for me because I'm feeling lonely. You're not here, blah blah blah. I was like, you know that Paulo, my stepdad, is not gonna like it. She said, yes, but I have a strategy. It's like, okay, what's your strategy? She said, I'm gonna get a dog and I know he has a soft heart and that he loves all the little creatures, but he just doesn't want to have it because he doesn't want extra work. He doesn't want to be stressed. He doesn't want it to die like his past dog did die. I was like, Mom, what are you talking about? She's like, well, I'll get a dog and you're flying here in December 2025. So I'm going to Brazil for 2 months. Looking forward to that. And she said, you come here and I'm going to get the dog this month and I'll tell him that it's your dog. I was like, Mom, what are you doing? What is this? She said, this is my strategy. And then in my head, I was like, okay, so she's putting a risk mitigation strategy. So the risk is Paulo is going to say, I don't want a dog. This is crazy. Do not buy a dog. Do not get a dog. But the strategy is if he says that, she's going to say, yeah, but just let's keep the dog for a little bit. And then when Raphael is here, he is going to take the dog back. But meanwhile, because she understands the stakeholder, she understands what goes in his heart, she thought, you know what? Meanwhile, he's going to fall in love with the dog and I won't be able to take it back. Like Raphael is not going to take it to Canada. I was like, Mom, what if your risk mitigation strategy does not work? And I end up having to bring the dog to Canada. She said, wow, you don't have a dog. You used to have a dog. It's okay. You keep it. It's so cute. I'm going to find a very nice Shih Tzu, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? Sure. I moved to Canada 10 years ago and you're there by yourself. So, okay, that's something I can do. If it doesn't work, then we're going to avoid the risk of you losing your marriage by me having a dog in December when I fly back or February when I fly back to Canada. So that was the strategy, right? And here's my mom. And then my mom, my stepdad, and my stepdad, even though he looks like an ice cream over there, he's actually. Thank you, Roseanne, for laughing and unmuting. Appreciate that. My partner says that my stepdad looks like ice cream, so he does look like an ice cream. He's a cute guy, but he's very hard on everything. He's like, no, this is not good, but he has a beautiful, soft heart. So here's Thor, the dog my mom got. The first day my mom got
Oh,
this dog, Paulo called me. The day that she got the dog, Paulo called me and said, "What is this? Why you have a dog here? Your mom is saying it's your dog. You have to take it away. I do not want a dog. This is crazy. I get to my house and now I have a dog in here that I didn't want to have. This is insane. I don't want this. What are you guys doing?" I said, "No, don't worry. It's my dog. I will take it." I was like, "Oh my God, what am I doing here? Like, why am I answering this? My mom, this is strategy is not working." But anyway, I was like, "Oh, this is it," right? And then okay, let's follow. But my mom is a very good person and she knows how to assess her stakeholders. And this is day number 2. Paulo fell in love with the dog by day number 2. And of course, I'm using an AI privacy screen here because Brazilian man, they never have their shirt on. So I'm just putting a privacy screen here. But she assessed her stakeholders and she was awesome because Paulo fell in love with it. Now it's his dog. Now every time I say, "Hey, where's Thor? Is Thor coming with me in December?" He says, "No, no way. This is my dog. It's not yours." So he fell in love with the dog. Look how good her stakeholder assessment was, right? Now, if you look at PMBOK and PRINCE2, they both have different approaches to tackling a risk. So these are risk responses coming from PMBOK and PRINCE2. So again, remember this chat, everything we're talking about today is about managing risk. And wait, just a second. The screen you see right now is the presenter screen, right? So you see what's coming next?
We do.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I actually wanted you to see the other screen. Let me stop sharing as I talk you through. Here, this screen is the one I want you to see. Boom. Okay, so now you see the full screen here, right?
Roger. Good.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I didn't catch that before. Okay, so back to our chat. We're talking risk management, creativity of humanity, and creativity of humans in applying risk in AI. Great. In order to do that, why don't we look back at the humans that have created the PMBOK, the PRINCE2? If you don't know what PRINCE2 is, PRINCE2 is a methodology to manage projects that was created in the UK back in the 1980s. I will forget the exact date, but that was a project management methodology for IT professionals that grew, and today is one of the biggest methodologies, of course, behind our dear PMBOK, and I am the president of PMI, so I'm going to be a fan of PMI. But PRINCE2 has a lot of good things there too, and government institutions, specifically in the UK and in Canada, they follow PRINCE2 methodology, right? Great. PRINCE2 has risk management, PMBOK has risk management, and if you combine those two things, it's like, wow, what else can we do? What else can we learn? And one thing that I looked at specifically was, and I am at the 30 minutes mark here, was that if you look at PRINCE2 for share, one of the risk responses, so the risk is Paulo is not going to want to have the dog. The response here could be share. We're going to share that risk with Raphael, and if something happens, Raphael will take the dog, and it's going to become a avoid. He's going to avoid that threat completely, right? Now, look at this. PMBOK says that you mitigate a threat, and then PRINCE2 says you reduce, just a play of words. Great. Now, PRINCE2 has one specific thing that I really like, which is prepare contingency plan, which means if something goes wrong, if you roll a new system and it does not work, like Project Phoenix in Canada, where the federal government spent millions and millions and millions of dollars and it didn't work, you have to have a fallback plan. How do you go back to the old system? How do you give someone access? And how do you, let's say one of my biggest projects was a data center migration for healthcare. If the system do not work, healthcare needs extra nurses and doctors. What's the contingency plan? We bring extra nurses and doctors, make sure they are in the hospital, make sure they are available. We do the technology change. If the technology does not work for some reason, the contingency plan here is that doctors and nurses will get the work completed on paper themselves without relying on the system. Okay, now talking too much about things here, let's dive in a little bit more. What do you think? What were the risk responses that my mom used for Paulo? And I only want to take one because we're halfway through. I know I have 1 hour, so we'll navigate through this.
Okay, someone contribute to the chat.
what was the risk response here? These are PMBOK PRINCE2. Can you pick one that my mom used to mitigate the risk of losing her marriage? And why?
I got share.
Share, right? Yes, sharing with me, right? You can share risks by getting insurance company. See, the funny thing about share is PMBOK says that you can only share an opportunity, but my mom did not share an opportunity. She shared a threat. And PRINCE2 says that yes, you can share a threat, right? So you see patterns and things that you can learn from different books, from different methodologies. And as long as you know all of that and you put it in your belt, you're like Batman with the different skill sets and different tools. You can pull each tool whenever you want, right? Okay, very nice. I love that. Now, one tip here for you. If you don't remember anything about this presentation, remember this: a deep search. If you haven't done it, it's just a click of a button on your ChatGPT or on your Gemini, and it does a deep search. So it basically go all the way down and find all the details that is available on the internet, or if you have a AI that is inside your firewall, inside your company, and has access to your company data, a deep search will take 9 to 10 minutes, and it's going to review everything. My mom called me and said, "Hey, Raf, Thor is not eating. He's not eating, and I don't know what to do. And here's the information about Thor. He's a 1 month at that time, 1 month and 18 years old, and 18 days old, and he has 930 grams. So I went to ChatGPT and I asked, hey, how much should a dog this size eat? And it said it should eat about 70 to 80 grams. I was like, wow, he's not eating anything. Like, he's not eating that. The dog is going to die. We got to take it to the vet. But then I did a deep search. So I clicked the button deep search, and it took 9 to 10 minutes. It revised the AI behind the scene, looked at all the information available online, gave me the sources, and said, hey, actually, for a dog this size, here's what they should eat a day. So 66, so what is 55 to 60 grams or 2 ounces a day is what they should eat. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a better answer. You see, the first prompt, the AI hallucinated and told me 70 to 8 because it found data very quickly. The second one, it did a deep dive and brought me the information that I actually needed. And then once my mom went to the vet and confirmed, that was great. It's like, yeah, this is what he should eat. And this deep search gave me actually a 20-page document explaining why Shih Tzus, they have stomach problems and why they eat so slow, what type of food you should give them, right? So this is just beautiful. Imagine if you can do that for every project. I'm managing the biggest ERP enterprise resource planning project in our province. And I do a lot of deep search to find information about risks, about things that are happening, to find blog spots. Imagine if you could spend hours reading information about your project, your specific risk. That's what a deep search will do for you, right? So now let's use more and more creativity here. I don't know if you heard about Google Notebook LM. If you did not, that's the second thing you're going to do today after we're done. Go to Google Notebook LM and take a look at what it can do. It turns things into podcasts. It's like, what? Why does that matter for risk, Raf? Why does that matter to me as someone that is managing risks? Let me do this. Let me stop sharing my screen. And I believe I did. Did I stop sharing my screen? Yeah.
You did
And I'm
Yes.
going
stop
to
sharing.
reshare. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to reshare my screen. I'm going to put sound and video. And I'm going to here. What if you were a PMI chapter, right? And you are an awesome PMI chapter, but your team members and the people do not read your bylaws. So then you go to Google Notebook LM and you
Welcome
create
back to the
something like
deep
this.
dive. Today we're
Can you guys
really
hear?
analyzing the DNA of professional life. We're not looking at a quarterly report.
Do you hear it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let us do this. So imagine you are a PMI board member, you just joined the PMI, or you're a chapter member, but you don't have time to read all the bylaws because you're tired because the bylaws is a lot of information. But then the risk is your volunteers do not read the bylaws, so they don't know it, they don't want to spend time, and then some things happen in the chapter, you go against the bylaws, or you don't understand it very much. But then how do you tackle this? You use human creativity, you go to Notebook LM, and you create this.
report or, a political manifesto. We are cracking open the actual governing documents of a pretty significant professional organization's local chapter.
That's right. We're dissecting the bylaws of the Project Management Institute, Central Indiana Chapter PMICIC. And honestly, for anyone who volunteers on a board, maybe runs a local chapter, or just wants to understand how professional groups actually work, this blueprint is gold. Our mission today is to uncover let's say, the strict operating rules, the ethical guardrails, and maybe most importantly, the structural tension between, local action and global control.
Yeah, that tension, local passion versus the global mandate, that feels like the perfect theme for this deep dive. So let's start with the basics. The PMICIC identity, it's chartered by the main PMI, but it's actually a legally separate entity, right?
Yeah.
Incorporated in Indiana.
And it holds a specific nonprofit designation, 501c.
501c.
Okay. Yeah, and that status is crucial.
All right, guys, what do you feel about this? Like, can you see the human creativity and the technology working together?
This is amazing. Was that Kelly? No, sorry. Just...
And it's insane, right? How did I do this? It took me 10 minutes. I went to your PMI website, I downloaded the bylaws, then I went to Google Notebook LM, log in, upload the bylaws, transform into a podcast, and then I went to do other work as it was doing a podcast for me, and I did other work, and then I came back and said, oh, the podcast is ready. Great. Let me take a look. See, very little effort, using creativity, using technology, tackling your risks, making project communication better, making your lives easier. I know we say, yeah, AI was going to take the job of project managers. I don't know about that. I think that the project managers that know how to use AI will take the job of a project manager that does not know how to use it. Of course, there's some little low-level tasks that can be optimized, yes, but there's a lot of other things that can be done. Cool. Okay. Let's move on because the time is ticking. Let me reshare my screen because I believe I stopped sharing. Here we go, and share and reshare. Here we go, optimize sound, video, back to Thor, right? We did Thor, very nice. And then, of course, I translate all of this into Portuguese. I said, GPT, do the translation of this into Portuguese so I can send to my mom. So then now she knows how to take care. What is that?
You have the speaker view of the slides. So you have the next slide showing again.
Oh, I have the next slide showing again, huh? Stop sharing. That's crazy. So we need an AI to help me understand how to share your screen. Look at that. That's crazy.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now you can see my desktop, and boom, now you see the full screen. Great. Perfect. So great. Notebook LM, I use that for SAP. I actually was going to speak at PMI Calgary. It was about 12 hours drive, and I decided to drive because Canada is beautiful. Why not? So in 12 hours, I was listening to podcasts about SAP migration, about technology. My wife almost killed me, but she said, it's okay. I'm going to listen to my book, and you listen to your crazy podcast about technology that I don't want to hear about. Right? So again, mitigating the risks, right? If the risk is that your executive does not know anything about SAP, does not know anything about the technology, give him, she, they a podcast that he can listen to and understand a little bit more, right? Okay, let's go. The AI is coming. Cool. Our project manager creativity was always here. Wait for it. This is a very nice show that is on Netflix, I believe. It's called This Is Us, and this guy Jack Person is the main character, and his friend Miguel Rivas, he is a project manager in construction in this little Netflix series, and it's an awesome series if you haven't watched it. But basically, in one point, Jack says, hey, Miguel, what's going on in your work? And then Miguel says, well, not much. I'm a project manager, so I don't have too much creativity. I just follow the tasks and all of that. And I stopped watching the show right after that episode. I was like, what do you mean? Project managers, they have to be creative. Just kidding. I didn't stop watching the show, but I was very sad that that's how they depict the project managers. Okay. But again, it's not only about project and risk management, right? Success. It's about this. Look at this cute guy here, our Pierre Lemon, the CEO and president of PMI Global. Look at what he says.
We would like to initiate a movement to reframe what our profession should bring to the world and feel accountable for, which implies broadening our perspective and accountability beyond project management success to simply project success. If we want to think more strategically, as many of you say, and to really focus on what will drive project success beyond project management success. Of course, we still need to get the PM basics right, absolutely, but we also need to truly prioritize the perception of value by stakeholders. We, all of us together, our profession needs to own this. So at PM.
Yes, we need to own this, right? Success beyond project management success, project success beyond project management success. What does that mean? So if you look here, to maximize project success, we need to improve the perception of value. Did your project deliver value that was worth the effort and the expense? Take a look if you haven't read the PMI report on this. It's amazing. It's very good. But the key message here, if you want me to save you 30 pages of PMI report reading, is we should maximize success, and we should make sure that the perception that you're delivering good value to your project is perceived by your key stakeholders, by the people consuming the building or using the building, consuming the product, by the people working in your project team. Do they see value? It's not that you were on scope, schedule, and budget, but you killed your team and then the project's not delivering a lot of value. And like, who tracks value anyway? We just send it to operations and people take care of it, and then we go to the next fun project, right? We don't have to track value. No, we do. We have to make sure that people involved in our projects, the stakeholders, that they see value. So look at this. Paulo, he didn't even know that we pushed in a dog project into him, and now he loves the dog, and the dog is very important to him and spend a lot of time with him and makes him walk a little more. He goes for a walk with the dog. So that project is delivering a lot of value to Paulo, and he doesn't even know like that was going to be the outcome of the project. But my mom managed the perception. She understood the stakeholder, she understood the assignment, she had a great risk management strategy around it. Okay, that said, what is the objectives of managing risks in your project? To me, and because I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to dive into this. The objective of managing risks is that gives us the ability to shape the future. How? With little effort, right questions, right people, significant return. Little effort, you're asking the key people the right questions. You have a risk meeting every 2 weeks. You listen to the engineers, you listen not only to the executives, but the people on the floor doing the work. You track that, and then you have significant returns, right? And so I developed this. This is a very awesome tool called the Project Risk Management Strategy that combines not only PRINCE2, PMBOK, but it has some risk management best practice from BA-BOK, the business analysis book of body of knowledge. So there's a lot of things in here, but I want you guys to guess what is the tool that I built this. It's a very fancy tool that holds our entire financial system in North America together today. Can I get one guess?
You mean like SAP?
Oh, okay. Less fancy.
Oh, PPT, PowerPoint?
Very close. So this tool I developed throughout my career on this little thing called, very nice, it's awesome. Are you ready? Called Excel spreadsheet. Right? So this is a risk management strategy that combines PRINCE2, PMBOK best practice. I kind of explain which category, what they say. I have different tabs with the probability matrix, impact matrix, and a couple things, risk questionnaire coming from BA-BOK, but it is a spreadsheet. Yes, it is a spreadsheet because it was developed before AI, but it's okay. As long as we know what we're doing, AI is going to be able to help us make that even better. One thing that I want to call out here is you have seen a risk registry before. You're all project managers. That's awesome. One thing that comes from PRINCE2 that I really like is proximity. What is proximity? Is the discussion we never have about risks, which is, when do you think this risk is bound to happen? When could that happen? If it's a go live in October 6th and the risk is the data is not clean and it's not going to work, when is that? Like, oh, you know what? 2 months before go live, we're going to be able to look at the data. And if the data is not clean, we're going to know it's not clean. Great. So let's talk proximity. Let's assess that risk, put in risk mitigation, put a risk sharing option here before that happens, right? We don't talk about that. Risk actioneer, I don't even think it's in the English dictionary, but it comes from PRINCE2, is who's taking action. Is not the executive that you're going to fire when the project goes belly up. It's not the risk owner, but it's the actioneer. Who's taking action? What is the action? the action is that Rafael is going to be backing up my mom and saying that he will take the dog to Canada if Paulo says he doesn't want a marriage anymore because of that. Great, right? So let's put that, assign it to Rafael to make sure that he's talking to key stakeholders and informing him, right? Another thing I want to call out here before we move on, and I'll show you how all of this fall together, is probability. When you're assessing your risks, I am almost sure that you say, oh, it's a 1 to 5, but you don't categorize it. A 5, you team need to know, a 5 is like almost certain. A 1 is very rare. A 3 is possible, right? I'm not saying you should follow my standard, but I'm saying think about this so that the risks that are important to your executive that holds the money, that holds the team, it's not more impactful and more likely just because he, she, they said so, but because you have a scoring matrix that you're looking at and that you're discussing with them. The same for impact. If they say an impact is a 5 to a 1, a 5, what is it? It could be very high. It could be 25% impact on your project budget. It could be that external stakeholders are going to see this project as a failure. Is going to see this program as a failure. Is going to tell you never to run a project again. Is going to tell your team never to run a project again. It's an impact, a significant impact on scope, schedule, and budget. If you say it's a 1, it's very little. There's no impact to budget. There's no impact on strategic direction of your program and portfolio, right? Even if the executive says, this is very important to me, please put it as a high. I said, okay, I can put it as a high, but here's the definition that we agreed as a team, right? Are you okay with that? And then they might say, you know what? No, I'm not, because it's important to me, and you change your mind because at the end of the day, they pay your salary. But at least you try to do the best you can with the methodologies, right? Okay, let me go back to our little presentation in here, and I'll give you one more storytelling. And I might be a little like 10 minutes over. Is that okay if I am 10
We're
minutes over?
doing,
And
Raphael,
Yep.
we're doing fine on time.
Right.
We're doing
okay,
just fine on time. Okay.
beautiful. Because if I am 10 minutes over, you give me 60 minutes instead of 50, or you give me 70 minutes instead of 60. I can walk you through a couple more things, and then we have 20 minutes for questions. Is that
Do
okay?
that. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So here we go. Now, this is another little story, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're looking at two gloves, right? A yellow and a pink one. Is
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So basically, I used to work from home when I was at Smile Digital Health. It's a health IT company back in Canada who provides services to the US. Anyway, fun thing is, I was working from home, and my partner, she would just go to the office. She's a development officer, and I was like, you know what? I have to do good for her, and I have to do dishes before she gets home. But we have a problem at our house that our gloves are almost the same color. So all the gloves we have, the gloves to wash the dishes and to wash the bathroom. So I didn't know which was which. So I thought, well, if she sees me doing dishes with a glove that is from the washroom, she's going to be very upset, and I might lose my marriage too, like my mom would lose hers. So I was like, you know what? This is crazy. So what is it? Well, I don't know. There's only two gloves, and so it's a 50% chance that it might occur. It's 50% chance that I'm going to be using the wrong glove, and then I'm going to be screwed, and it's going to be a problem. So the risk response to avoid any impact, and again, we didn't even talk about what the impact is. Maybe the impact is I lose my marriage. Maybe the impact is I have to buy a new car for her or something, right? So to avoid completely a risk response, to avoid the impact of maybe losing my marriage, we didn't talk about what the impact was actually for this project, is to do dishes before she gets home. But because I'm smart, I access proximity. She gets home at about 5 every day. So as long as I do dishes before 5, doesn't matter what glove I use, there won't be any impact. See how important proximity is?
I don't know about this.
All right, guys, one more thing here. Worldwide, this is an IBM report from 2024. The 2025 is probably coming out, but this one was done for 1,200 companies in 2024. And it basically said, it included China, Australia, US, Italy, India, included a lot of countries, Brazil, Mexico. It's about 2,342 professionals and 2,342 enterprises with organizations or with size of people bigger than 1,000 employees. So 2,000 companies with more than 1,000 employees worldwide. They said, we either are exploring AI today or deploying it in production. 40% to 42%. Insane. Insane statistics. I love this. This is great, right? Look at that. They are investing, so should we, project managers. And so is PMI Global, right? So you have PMI Infinity, you have a lot of AI tools, a lot of free AI courses for PMI members, right? Lots of cool things out there. Okay, Raf, what is this thing here that you promised us that you would give us an agent? This is the agent. It's the risk management strategy, PRINCE2 and PMBOK. So this is basically that spreadsheet with some other quote unquote configurations so the AI can help you manage your risks, and you will get access to it if you are the winner of the game, or if you connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me what I did well and what you think I could improve. Now let me go to this guy here, the risk management strategy, PRINCE2 and PMBOK. So I can say, hey, my friend, how are you? And always treat them well, right? Because you don't know if they're going to take over the world, become Skynet. They're going to remember, oh, this is the guy that was never polite to me. I'm going to take him, right? So if you're always polite, just keep that in mind. Okay, how are you? I am running a PMI event virtual and wondering what are the risks? So this guy is programmed in a way that every question you ask, so it's not going to be Star Wars themed, but it's going to put at least one example within that risk management strategy that I created, right? The fancy spreadsheet is going to put that within the risk management strategy. It's going to give you some categories. It's going to give you a risk rate. It's going to give you a proximity, right? A possible impact, probability, but it also is going to remind you that remember Thor, your mom managed her, so stakeholder Paulo, by anticipating emotions, preparing short-term mitigation, and planning a long-term strategies. Just like your event, you will need both backup plans, short-term fixes like backup platforms, and long-term engagement strategies, building participant excitement before the event, right? So see this human creativity again. I gave you a storytelling. Now you're always going to remember, and this agent is always going to remember you about Thor, so you don't forget to maximize project success. Insane, right? Look at that. Crazy, crazy stuff. And this is also configured. You can ask and say, okay, what is risk proximity, or what do you mean by impact and probability? How do you score it?
Mm-hmm.
So then basically it's programmed to look at the PRINCE2 concept and say, here's what proximity is. And it's programmed to look at the probability and impact matrix and say, here's how Raphael did it. And you can change it if you want. Here's how the impact was done and consequences. You can change it if you want, right? And the risk rate. So basically this guy can help you and have a conversation with you as you manage your risk. How does that sound, guys? It's fun, right? Very fun.
Yeah.
Well, our potential is so big. So again, every fourth interaction, it's going to remind you of Thor and talk about the importance of understanding your stakeholder. Great. Quick game here. I'm going to do it very fast. So basically, machine learning. Which of these pictures is machine learning? In my little Brazilian brain, machine learning is like sorting M&Ms, right? If it's blue, the machine goes in the blue pile. If it's yellow, it goes in the yellow pile. And then you say, okay, what about natural language processing out there? What is that? Well, to me, it is people talking in different languages and machine being able to understand it and communicate back to us. A great, Ralph. Where's generative AI, this thing that we are using ChatGPT for the Thor agent? What is that? Well, to me, it's like baking a cake. Why? Because we put a lot of ingredients together and then it becomes something else, right? We put PRINCE2, and then we put PMBOK, and then we put the storytelling about Thor, and then we put everything in there, and then boom, you have a cake that manages risks for you, that helps you think about stakeholders, that is beautiful and can support you, right? So that's to me is generative AI. It's like, okay, Raf, great, but what are you talking about? Well, what if you're a company and you can bake many cakes and amazing cakes? Well, don't look farther. Look at Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley in 2023, they partner with Microsoft, Azure OpenAI. So Morgan Stanley does a lot of financial things that are very awesome and very greatly done. I don't get any royalties from them, but they use AI internally. So their AI look at all their data, the investment data, and then bakes a nice cake for the analyst, for the people working on the company, for their customers. That cake not only includes ingredients from outside of the company, from ChatGPT, deep search, what's happening in the world of internet, but also look internally of the inside the projects, inside the investments that they did, and then make informed decisions. One little tip here, or that makes a lot of sense and it's crazy to me, is a human reading 24/7. Let's say you were born today and you read 24/7 for your entire life and you died at about 80. I think that's what the calculation here is. You would read about 8 billion words. But in contrast, advanced AI tools today can ingest over 8 trillion words in just 1 month. So your thing here is like reading 8 trillion while you read your entire life and you died and you only did 8 billion. It's insane, right? AI reads 1 million times more in 1 month than we do in our entire lifetime. Great. If we have that in the background, again, sometimes it's going to hallucinate, give you some wrong information. The platform is sometimes make mistakes and a lot of times makes mistakes. That's why we need project managers like yourself to validate the output. That's why we need you to understand PRINCE2, to understand PMBOK. Because if it hallucinates and you're just trusting it without knowing it, then you have a problem in your hand, right?
Exactly.
Right? Thank you, Roseanne, for participating. It excites me. I like that. When I'm talking in front of everyone, I feel excited when people engage. So that's why I appreciate you. You continue off mute. I like that. Okay, imagine the possibility I bring to your risk management with your creativity. It's insane, right? There's so many things we can do. Now, what if we bake our biggest cake ever? And I want to do this with the help of Roseanne. Roseanne, tell me what project, if you can, what project you are working on right now. Let's bake a big cake, you and I. Tell me, like, what is, if you can share, what is the project you're working on today?
Building a building.
Mm-hmm. Building a
So
building.
yeah, you're going to have all the architects, engineers, all the
Uh-huh.
contractors, all the construction people. They're going to all be adding ingredients to make this cake.
I love that. Okay. So can you tell me, and we're not going to have enough time to do a deep search, but can you tell me who is one of your competitors today that is not building that building, but is building something else?
Um, let's see, one of the competitors would be
Okay, so maybe I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry.
answer. Uh,
I don't
no.
know.
This is good. So I'm gonna answer in a different way. Say, hey GPT, do a search on building companies that make commercial
So
buildings in central. And I'm dyslexic, so every
yeah,
time I type, there's mistakes here. But don't worry, Central Indiana, right? Learn about them and their competitive advantage. And yeah, okay, that's not how you spell advantage. And yeah, this is how you spell it. Commercial building. And oh, it's building. So, and then ingest the information and do nothing. Okay, perfect. So now it's gonna find information about your competitors or companies that do the same thing that you do in Central Indiana. I'm not doing a deep search, right? I don't want it to take 10
sure.
minutes because we don't have enough time. But thinking longer for a better answer, explaining limitations. So it's kind of ingesting that information. I said ingest the information and do nothing. So let's see if it's going to follow my instructions because just wanted to keep that ingredient inside his mind for us to do something else later. Let's go, Mr. GPT, my friend. Everyone is looking at
So
you.
is this where of the 8 trillion things that it's consuming? Is it sorting through them right now, trying to figure out what's relevant, what's not relevant, what
That's right. So
commonalities, what don't? Is that what's happening right now?
it's looking at all the websites it can find within a time span and it's trying to match that information. So, oh, this is what they talk about. Oh, this is Central Indiana, or here's what is available. Here are the different companies. So it's trying to find all of that data and then come back to me. But when it comes back to me, it could have some hallucinations. There are ways to limit hallucination with the specific agents. But this one was just looking at the data all out there, like Indianapolis construction companies and expertise. So it's looking at all of that and gathering the data. I don't know if I'll have enough time here, but what I wanted to do next is look across the internet, find information about, okay, Rafael, I can ingest and do nothing in the background, and either need to deliver the research to you now or do not at all. Okay, so he said, oh, I cannot just ingest, but it's delivering me a little bit of the research. Say, okay, great, great. Blah, blah, blah. Prep construction, Indiana, Indianapolis, blah,
I know
blah,
some of
blah.
these companies.
Look at that. Yeah. So it's going through it, right? Now, so let's say that this agent was inside my company and I could actually send more information about what's actually going on. Let's say that, and specifically here, I have a Word document. Oh, where is it? The database. And I have a database document that includes some lessons learned and best practice from our construction company, right? I could say, hey, ingest this best practices, just go along with me and do nothing. So then it's going to ingest the information. Okay, complete your search, please. Yeah, got it. So then it shows me the sources, right? Where he got this information. So he went to this company, went to that self-performance website. So it shows me all the things, the places that he went to get that data for me. I can check them, see if he's hallucinating or not. But then let's say that this database, and it's not, but let's propose that this database is your internal database from your company with lessons learned from that specific building, that specific location. So ingest this best practice and lessons learned and do nothing, right? So now it's just going to ingest. And I think I am 2 minutes over there.
Oh, you're fine.
I've ingested the file with the best practice and lesson learned as you asked, and I will hold on to it quietly and won't take any actions until you tell me otherwise. Okay, so now see, it's baking the cake. It has information about my competitors. It has lessons learned about my current project, and now I can do whatever I want. I can maybe use my risk agent to come up with a risk registry based on PMBOK, PRINCE2. I can ask questions about schedule. I can ask questions about stakeholders. I can ask whatever I want to ask, right? See how your creativity can take you to the next level, combining your current skill set plus AI plus information about your competitor, about your industry is just insane, guys. Just insane what we can do. Okay.
It's amazing.
Right? I love it. Now let's play a game. I want you all to pull your cell phones up, and you're gonna scan a QR code here for me. Let me see. Boom! It's gonna show up.
The cell phones up, gang. Get them up. Unholster that puppy.
Here we go. We're gonna play a game, and if you're the winner of the game, you're gonna get access to everything I showed to you today, including the thorough risk management strategy, as well as the fancy spreadsheet and the PPT and all of that. And then if you're happy and you like your chapter, you share with your chapter. If you don't like your chapter, then you connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me what I did good and what you think I should do better, and I'll share that with you as well. Okay? And yes, you can use your own names, but you don't have to. You can use funny names as long as you are respectful. Here we go. And here's the song. You can listen to my little song here, huh? Can you?
Yes, we can hear the song.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Look at that. Yeah, we should have played it.
Help if I danced? No, it won't. nor if I sing. We'll just shut down quick. All righty.
All right, we have 20 people. If I start, you cannot join anymore. So I'll give you going once, going twice, going. I don't know if that's how they do it, but it's sold. Let's go. 22. If I start, you cannot join anymore, but it's okay. You're still gonna see it. Oh, there's 2 more people joining. Okay, going once, twice.
For those that are using their phone, can you share the link in the chat real quick?
Yes, I can. But basically, just go to www.kahoot.it and then you type the number or you scan. Let me share it here in the chat, though. Where's the chat? I need an AI to find the chat for me. AI, find me a chat.
See the Zoom chat.
There we go. I found it.
Did it. Thank you.
And then here's the
There you are.
Here's the link.
There you are. Very good.
Perfect.
There you go, Brianna. We got you fixed up. Get in the game.
Right. I will start, and when I start, there's a winner. And when I start, you cannot join anymore, but it's okay. You can still follow the game. Can I
You
go?
got it.
Don't move away from your cell phone screen, otherwise the game drops you, okay? Because I see some people leaving. It's because you moved away from your cell phone. If you go to WhatsApp or you go text someone or your boss send you a message, then you get dropped. Okay. 3, 2, 1, dodgeball. Kahoot at work. Imagine the possibilities. AI in project management, PMI Central Indiana.
I
Here we
understand.
go. True or
Faster the
false?
better.
The faster you answer, the more points you make. True or false? Raphael's friends don't love him as much. So remember, they gave me a haka plant. Boom. I just said true. And false. So false was the right question, right answer. So the player Kia was the first one. Why? Because the answer was faster than everybody else, followed by Jessica, Scott, RB, and so forth and so on. So the faster you answer, the more points you make. But of course, you have to get the right answer. Here we go. Multi-select. Boom. That's right. All of them but the Yoda one. Here we go. Oh, look at that. H Zhang is in the first position with 1,900 points. Here we go. Third question. Wow, we have we have people selecting a bunch of the crazy ones. I love it. Very nice. So the right answer is proximity is used to assess the timeline urgency. So when is it? It's 5 p.m. when my wife gets home. Great. Let's do dishes before. Here we go. Kia is still in the first, or move back to the first position. Very nice. And RB has the highest answer strike of 3. So RB, even though it's not that fast, has the highest answer. So got 3 correct answers. Here we go. Wow, that was a tough one. So actually, the PMI global movement is to maximize project success. So it's okay. You have to be in scope, schedule, or budget, and we have to manage risk. We have to use the best practice. But if your project was not successful, if your stakeholders did not appreciate it, if your team is burned down, if anything else happened and the people using the product, service, or result is not happy, then that's not success. So the PMI global movement is to deliver success beyond project management success. So deliver project success. Here we go. Haha, 8 Zing moved back to the first position. Very nice. Last question. Multi-select. Select more than one. Boom. All of them, right? Little effort, right people, significant returns with the right questions. Here we go. And we have Susan in third. Very nice, Susan. Zing in second. Wow, Zing was in first. What happened? What happened over here? Let's see. Yeah, very nice. Very, very, very nice. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you guys so much. And that's all I have for you. But before I get going with your questions, I'm gonna say what we did today. We had fun. We discovered the true friendship can now be measured by the price tag on your housewarming gift. We learn how much food a 1 month and 18-day-old Shih Tzu puppy weighing approximately 930 grams should eat. We learn how to use AI privacy screen, right? Perfect for protecting shirtless dads and some sunbathers. Yeah, I believe it was a sunbather. We learn how to bake a cake with PRINCE2, PMBOK, AI, and a lot of awesome things. We also learned that I should not eat food at my place because you never know how I wash the dishes. Now, I'll ask you this question. What was most useful to you today? But as I ask you that question, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me what you think I did well, what you think I could improve. And once you connect, I will accept. And once I accept, then you can tell me. Otherwise, LinkedIn will not work. So you have to connect first. So send me an invite, connect with me, and then tell me after I accept, which is going to be by today. I'll accept it. Tell me what you think I did well, what do you think I can improve. But before I open for questions, I'm going to ask one question for all of you. And if at least I can get 2 or 3 responses, I'd love that. What was most useful today for you?
Okay, gang, I'm watching the chat here. What was most useful for you today? Roseanne, while I'm waiting for someone to keyboard in, how about you? What did you find most useful for you? Up there starting to roll in.
I think having all of the right verbiage to ask AI so that you get the response you're wanting is really important.
I got AI and project management doesn't have to be complicated. Different ways to use AI that I haven't explored. The concept of proximity. The great
Nice.
hands-on demo.
Thank you.
The iteration that AI is not taking our jobs, or the reiteration that AI is not taking our jobs. It's a tool to do our jobs better.
There, love that.
How to better interact with AI tools. Are you seeing them too, Raphael?
No, I'm not. I am listening
Okay.
to you.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Storytelling approach. AI can provide great insights regarding risks when you plug in project facts, historical data, etc.
Oh, yes,
Another one
that's
on the
right.
concept of proximity and the use of AI in efficiencies. Use of AI doesn't have to be boring. You can be creative and make it
Nice.
fun.
Beautiful. I love that, guys. I will stop sharing my screen. Here we go.
All righty.
And
Open up to Q&A, sir.
course. Yeah.
Okay, waiting for some questions from the audience, but I have one. You've used ChatGPT, you've talked about Google. I think there are others that are out there. When selecting an AI tool, oh, Copilot was out there too. I mean, when selecting, is one preferred? Do they feature different strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first part of your question is absolutely true. So they feature different strength and weaknesses. There is a very good book written by a good friend of mine. She's the president of PMI Dallas. Her name is Mei Lin. Here's her book, AI Project Power. So written by Mei Lin, and she does an assessment of all those tools from a project management lenses and give you some cool advice. The chapter I love the most is chapter 6 that actually give you ways to do fun things managing projects. But to answer your questions, yes, they all have different strengths. They all have different well, not all have different, but some of them have different approaches to how they retrieve data, how they work with the data. Some of them have less constraints around politics, and they are just straight to the point, and they do not care of what the impact is. So every tool is a little bit different, but if you go with a chat gpt, a Gemini, and a co-pilot and whatever your company has as part of their approved policies. I think you can use that, and you can use your creativity to start. And then from there, you can dive a little bit more and maybe start creating your own agents and creating your own workflow automations with more specific tools. But they all have different strength, and that's a very good book from me that I think you guys should buy. It's an easy read. I think it's 160 pages. It's not that big, and it's fun. She gives like little storytelling, and then she uses examples. It's nice. It's a nice, easy to read book that will give you a little bit of a good perspective from a project management lenses.
I just bought the book too, so I haven't started reading it yet because I'm reading another one right now, but it's in my stack of books to read.
Very nice. Very
Ralph,
nice.
please repeat the name of the book or show it on screen
Oh
again.
yeah, I can. AI Project Power. Ooh.
There you go. Anonymous attendee. AI Project Power. Ralph, you mentioned the term hallucinate a number of times through here. Is this a common like industry term when you
Uh-huh.
when you're working with AI, and
I,
how do you deal with it?
I like that. So that's a very good question. So imagine an AI smoke something illegal. That's what it is. No, just kidding. Uh, it's a very bad joke. So hallucination is a term, an IT term developed for AI that means it creates things that are not reality. So he read Prince2, and then it says, hey, you know what? Proximity means that Raphael is tired and he is not going to do dishes. And then that's not wrong. That's not right. That's not based on Prince2. So it picks a lot of data and then come up with something that does not exist. That's what hallucination is. And you should be very cautious about it. Anything that you get from an AI, you should look at and think, is this a hallucination or not? I'll give you a specific example. I was working on a strategic planning for our department, and I wanted to give them examples of vision and mission. And then I said, okay, GPT, do a deep search on vision and mission for a couple companies and give me an example. And then it said that the vision for Spotify was to be the best audio platform in the world or something like that. I was like, oh, this is great, right? So then I put there, oh, here's an example. Spotify, the best audio platform is their vision. Here's what the mission is. And the mission was great. And the mission is close to your heart. The vision is where you want to be. The mission is what you do every day, right? So I explained that to them, and I put in my little video recording, and I have a spreadsheet with some examples. And then I said, you know what if this GPT here is hallucinating? Let me go to the Spotify website and check. So I went to the Spotify website, and they do not have a vision. They only have a mission. They only have a very nice statement for the mission, but they do not have a vision. Then I went back to ChatGPT, and I was like, come on, man. I know you're my friend, and I don't want you to take over the world and get mad at me, but this is not true. You said that the vision of Spotify is this, and this is not true. And then it explained to me and said, oh, actually, I was not able to find the vision, but I found a document, a PDF that Spotify produced that it kind of told me that that's where they wanted to go, but I was specific to you and gave you a vision. So that gave me a hallucination. Imagine if I had shared, my team is about 300. We
Yes.
have about 300 people. Imagine I would have shared to 300 people that work with me, that respect me, that Spotify vision is this. They would, some of them might have Googled it, and then they would say, oh, Raphael is lying to us, right? So AI hallucinated out of nowhere to me, and I'm lucky enough that I checked. And that's what you should do. You should always check, fact check. If you can go to the website and check, if you can go to the book and check, see if that's correct, then you're good to go. Even Infinity, which is the PMI tool, sometimes does a little bit of hallucination, but less, because Infinity is coded and grounded on PMI books and PMI articles, does a little less hallucination. But you should always check if it is hallucinating. Otherwise, you're going to send something out that is not true, and it's that the thing is going to be on you and not on the AI.
And
I
I
th
think that's important in everything that you search on AI. You always have to validate what it produces.
Right. Absolutely. Every time.
Hey, Ralph, excuse me, a good question, comment, but I'd like you to react to it from Susan Fife here. Susan just finished the training that her company provided on AI, and one of the things it said that you shouldn't use friendly words like hello, etc. It uses extra computing energy, and it's not sustainability friendly. And I must admit that I've heard this sentiment and perspective as well.
I like that. That's a very good comment. So I'll answer the first part first. So if you say hello, the way I understand it is you're right. You don't have to be polite. I was just using it as part of the storytelling. You don't have to be polite. You don't have to say hello. You don't have to say my friend or something like that because it's going to use some of that power around the words you use and not what you're actually asking for. So be straight to the point. Now, it, about computing energy, I think I'm less concerned about that because regardless if you're using it or not, um, they are investing billions of dollars in powering more computers for AI, right? There's a deal between Oracle and OpenAI. OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT, as well as the Microsoft Copilot. They use the OpenAI platform. They have landed 200, I believe it's 200, or no, $300 billion. And don't quote me on this, but I think it's 300 billion or $200 billion deal between Oracle and OpenAI to do what? To build data centers, to have more computer power to process, to create powerful AI tools behind the scenes, right? So I think your hello there is going to be just a fraction of computation power that's going to mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. So that's how I see it. Like the $300 billion data center with Oracle is going to be what it's going to use a lot of the power. But again, what is that power going to do? Is that going to save us time? Is that going to save us, make us more proactive, make the entire world better? Then maybe the energy is worth it. It's the same in blockchain technology. People say that it consumes a lot of energy just to be mining that specific Bitcoin or whatever blockchain technology you have in the background. Um, I always argue like what's the benefit, right, that we're actually getting from this computer power, and can it actually make the world better? Can it actually make the world more sustainable? I do not know the answer to that. I tend to believe without data and facts that it actually can make the world better and more sustainable, but I could be wrong.
Ralph, I want to close with perhaps kind of an ethical bent, an ethical question here. I mean, this is so powerful. What if one is asked to prepare a report on X, Y, and Z, and I do, and then I pass it off as I use ChatGPT to do it, and then I provide it as if it were my own work. What what about that?
Yeah, and I think that that happens everywhere, every time, every minute, everything we see on LinkedIn. I think that that's what it is. It's like people are using AI and it's passing as their own work. Um, there's a couple things, right? So when I did my master's in blockchain and digital currency, I used AI a lot to help me find the data, to help me point it back to different books, to help me put in Harvard styled formatting. But at the end of the day, that was my work and was my name with it. So if there was a hallucination, if there was plagiarism, it would be my fault. If someone got hurt because of whatever I did, it would be my fault, right? Whatever technology I came up with, it would be my fault. So I think that that's what I want people to think is put in your heart that whatever you're getting, you should not just use it as face value. It could be a hallucination. It could create a lot of problems. You could even have plagiarism because the AI might be copying it from a website, from a book, from something
Mm-hmm.
that is not you're not allowed to do so, right?
Mhm.
So make sure that you're not doing that because if you are, and a lot of people are, the consequences could be big. And now the other thing too, Rich, is us on the other side. How do we validate that information? How do we look at that report or that book and say, okay, did this person write it? How did they write it? Where did they get the data? Is it true? Is it not? So I am way more today, way more reluctant in trusting data out there than I was back in the day. So now, whatever I read, if I'm reading an author that is like very nice and I know and have done great things, I might double check a little bit. If I'm reading a new thing, I'm gonna go and double check that data, like my Spotify vision, which was completely wrong. And if I didn't double check, my team was going to be like, oh, what's going on here, Raf? And one thing I do in every email, every presentation I do, I put at the end, this presentation was done with the use of AI. However, all the data and facts in here are by Raphael Vitorelli and have been double checked and triple checked. And you should be reading something that's trustworthy, right? Again, very tough world to live in. I don't know what the right answer is, but that's how I'm navigating it.
Well, thank you, Raphael Vitorelli. If you really are Raphael Vitorelli and not an we would like, regardless of that, we would like to provide you as a token of our appreciation on behalf of all the chapters
Aw.
here in Central Indiana and our guest chapters that may be visiting with us today, this official certificate of appreciation. which is signed officially by our non-AI Kelly Sandstrom, president of the chapter as well.
Very nice. And she's
Raphael,
amazing.
thank you very much for sharing. We really appreciate that. Appreciate the unique insights and experience that you have as well. So very good. A couple of things to wrap up here, guys. I think we asked for you for this key takeaway and had enough in the chat. Let's go and receive a copy of the slides. Remember to connect with Raphael on LinkedIn there. Let him know what you liked and how he might improve. Next slide here also has to do with the program survey. They take about 45 seconds. Keep those phones out and check this out. Roseanne, did you have a comment that you wanted to add here too before I get to the very final slide?
Yes, I do. There's a few attendees on this webinar, this Lunch and Learn, and that are not members of the PMI Central Indiana chapter. So if you're interested in that, please go out to PMI and join our chapter. We try to do great things for our members, and so you're always welcome. Thanks.
Thanks, Roseanne. And John, take us to the final slide here. Hey, get your calendars out and note the next event, a career fair, which have been very successful in the past, October 22nd. It's in the afternoon there. And the very last thing is here's your moment of PDU Zen. Take a look at the PDU code for this session and record it and use it. And with that, everybody have a wonderful afternoon. Raf, if you can join us backstage for a couple more minutes. We'd appreciate it. We'll see you there. Everybody else, goodbye and see you next month.